Hello, good morning, traders. I want to welcome you to another trading week. Last week was quite awesome. We generated over 500 pips from the analysis that was given right on this channel. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please click the subscribe button, and also you can like this video, you can share it and drop your comments, and also click the notification bell so that you get notified each time I drop a new video. So without taking much of our time, I want us to look at the analysis we have for this week. Today is Monday, the 20th of November, 2023, and this analysis spans through Monday 28th to 24th of November, 2023. So let's get started. Now, the first instrument I'll be analyzing today is actually the EURCAD. Now, the EURCAD, has been trending now for quite a while. This is EURCAD on a 4-hour time frame, and going a step further is EURCAD on the daily time frame. You can see it's been making a series of higher highs for quite a while now, and it looks like gradually the bullish trend is trying to wear out as price approaches the weekly time frame. Now approaches a resistance level on the weekly time frame. Now there's a weekly time frame, and we can see that price actually closed at the tip of a resistance level last week Friday. So technically, if price is unable to break out above this resistance zone, then we're looking for a bearish potential in price in the course of this week. So I'll be looking more at the bearish possibility, because at a resistance zone, we always a seller zone, so we expect price to take a bounce in the bearish direction. So I'm looking at bearish potential on EURCAD this week. So with that, I'll go down to a lower time frame and try to look at our entry. Now, this is the 4-hour time frame, and this is what I can see. I can clearly draw a trend line up here, and another one right at the back. And that clearly gives me a rising wedge. So we have price hit a resistance on the weekly time frame, and we have a rising wedge on the 4-hour time frame. I think it's better we do it this way. Okay. We have a rising wedge on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So this is telling us of a potential bearish movement, on EURCAD for this week. Now, if you look at this, there are many sides and many dimensions to this. If you look at this on one side, this looks a little like a head, a shoulder, a short second shoulder, and a possible bearish breakout. And at the same time, we can just choose to see this as a rising wedge, but then anyhow, we're expecting a bearish breakout in price. So I'm bearish biased on EURCAD on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you zoom down to the 15 minutes time frame, we have another possible angle to view our expectation on this instrument, 1-hour time frame, I mean. If we go down to the 1-hour time frame, we can still view it as a possible head and shoulder pattern, or it can also be viewed as a rising wedge. But what is most important in all this is that we're looking out for a bearish breakout in whatever format it comes. The most important thing is that we're looking for a bearish breakout of price. All right, so with all this, I still hold a very strong bearish projection on EURCAD this week. I'll be looking out for a bearish movement on this instrument. If it's a rising wedge like we see up there, we can still use our Fibonacci to capture a possible breakout below Fibonacci 23.6, and we can target maybe some 5 pips below 23.6, and we can target our Fibonacci 50 at about 49 pips thereabout. Then Fibonacci 61.8, about 70 pips. You know, just it all depends on your personal discretion, how you want to take your set to take profit. But that's just a projection on this instrument and bearish biased. And if you want to enter manually, just wait for a new candle to break out below this lower trend line. That's the one for 1 hour entry. Otherwise, just wait for price to break Fibonacci 23.6. And if it's the swing trade you want to take on 4 hour, just wait for a clear breakout below the lower trend line. So I'm bearish biased on EURCAD. Now, the next instrument I want to look at is the CHFJPY. Now, on the daily time frame, what we'll have here is a situation that is more like a resistance. Price broke a resistance level and it turned to a support. So we expect the old resistance to become a support and price continue in the bullish direction. So we have a bullish outlook on this instrument on the daily time frame. Now, if we zoom down to the 4 hour time frame, we can see price is already trying to make its way up. Now, two ways we can view this. This can look like a double bottom and a breakout. That's a view. And a second view is how we could actually have a trend line drawn here. And if this candle breaks above, that could also be a bullish breakout. If you have this breakout and price and RSI crosses above 50, that can equally be a bullish breakout. But by and large, all I'm looking out for is a bullish continuation, you know, on this instrument. So I'm bullish biased on CHFJPY. Next, I'll look at, okay, let's look at projected profit on this. Before I move on, let's look at projected profit. All right, price is already at Fibonacci 38.2. That's around the entry point, you know, even above the entry point for Fibonacci. So we're looking at, if all things work out and maybe price breaks out and closes above this trend line, that may look like or we might have a breakout, a retest before a continuation, in which case this might end up looking like an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and it's still expected, you know, to break out upwards. So if that is what happens, then we should be looking at our profit target using Fibonacci to the tune of about 18 pips to Fibonacci 50 and about 45 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. So let's take note of that. Okay, so next I'll look at GBPJPY, you know, and it's similar to the CHFJPY because here also we have a resistance level and there's a minor resistance here, and price broke out of the resistance, it's a support, and we expect a bullish continuation again, just like we had on the CHFJPY. So if we zoom down to 1 hour time frame, we see the pattern is almost looking the same. There's a possibility of price, you know, coming down to form a double bottom and continue bullish. That's a possibility. And another possibility around this is that price could actually break out, you know, above the trend line and keep, you know, going up. That's the second possibility. Or we could have a shoulder, a head, price coming down to retest the trend line and breaking out upwards, you know, as an inverse head and shoulder pattern. But ultimately, all we're looking out for is simply a bullish breakout of price. So I'm equally bullish biased on CHFJPY. And profit potential also on this could be in the range of, using the current level as a possible entry level. And, you know, at bullish breakout, we should have our RSI above 50. And currently RSI is above 50. So this is almost like becoming a mature trade profile, provided price closes above this level. But then I still strongly believe there should be a retest before that continuation happens. So if that works out as planned, then we should be looking at profit in the range in the range of all right, so should be looking at profit in the range of about 19 pips to Fibonacci 50 and about 53 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. So by and large, I'm bullish biased on GBPJPY. And the next instrument I'll look at is gold. Now for gold, let me just remove all this. All right, so for gold, the daily time frame for gold closed at the tip of a resistance, zone last Friday, forming a doji, a pin bar, a rejection candle. So technically, we're looking for a bearish movement on gold this week. Now, it may just be a short-term movement, but then we're expecting a bearish movement because we have price close at forming a doji at the tip of that resistance zone. So technically, we're looking for a bearish movement on gold. And if I zoom down to my 1 hour time frame, what I have here, I have a trend line. Another trend line here. So we have a rising wedge and a possible shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a bearish breakout. So I'm looking for a bearish breakout on gold for this week. So I'm bearish biased on gold. And the profit potential on this, using Fibonacci, all right, price is expected to break out some pips below Fibonacci 23.6. Now you can see this current candle is trying to do that. So to Fibonacci 50, price could be as much as about 139 pips, and to Fibonacci 61.8 as much as like 200 pips. So this should be a very good move on gold, which I don't want us to miss this week. So just watch out, for gold. And if it's a head and shoulder pattern, then this level here, okay, now let me use the trend line. This should be the neckline. So once price clearly breaks below the neckline, that will be a time to trigger a sell, and the confirmation is your RSI below 50. Currently, RSI is at 42. So the RSI is really ready. So we're just waiting for the breakout to happen. So a shoulder, a head, I think it's trying to form a second shoulder, and we should have the breakout. So I'm bearish biased on gold for this week. All right, so next is AUDUSD. Now, if we go to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price hit a resistance level recently. And sometime last week, we had a pin bar on that same resistance level. So we have a valid resistance level here. And if I zoom down to 4 hour time frame, I have a pattern that is looking closely to a double top pattern, and I expect a bearish breakout afterwards. All right, so I'm bearish biased on AUDUSD this week. So if it works as planned, then this place here should be the neckline. And if you want to use pending order, you can use it at the tip of the neckline at 0.64523. That can be your entry. And for your take profit, you can target the next support level as your take profit level. And that should be some 97 pips away. So I'm bearish biased on AUDUSD. All right, so next we have Euro New Zealand. Now, Euro New Zealand, on the daily time frame, we can see that price closed last week at a resistance zone. So technically, we are looking for a bearish trade on Euro New Zealand. So if we zoom down to the 4 hour time frame, and even finally on the 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing the possibility of a double top pattern being formed, which should lead to a bearish breakout. So all things being equal, the neckline is just right at the tip here. All right, so if you want to use a pending order, then you can move your entry to the tip of the lower shadow there at 1.81168, and profit should be at the next support level, which is here. So that's some 143 pips away. Well, that's an appreciable movement we're expecting on Euro New Zealand. So I'm bearish bias also on Euro New Zealand. So next I want to look at GBPCHF. This is GBPCHF on the daily time frame. We can see here the last Thursday, Friday candles, were pin bars on this support zone. We have a value support zone and we have 2 pin bars on that support zone, 2 rejection candles. That tells us technically we're looking for a bullish breakout on this instrument this week. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, now there are 2 ways I'm looking at this. This can be an inverse head and shoulder pattern. That's the way I'm looking at it. Now the second shoulder might come down, or it may just go up the way it's doing at the moment. Either ways, once price clearly breaks out above the neckline, which is this level here, to be time to trigger a buy on GBPCHF. So I'm bullish biased on GBPCHF. So next I'm looking at CADCHF. Now CADCHF on the daily time frame, you can see that price, has been bouncing off this trend line. We have the first time, second time. Okay, this is the third time, and technically we're expecting a bounce at this point from the daily time frame perspective. Now, if we zoom down to 1 hour time frame, I can clearly see the formation of a falling wedge, and earlier on this looks like a lot like a double bottom, but currently we have this candle there, so it may be a double bottom or probably end up as an inverse head and shoulder, whichever one, or price could just outrightly break out. Whatever happens, I'm just looking for a bullish breakout of price on CADCHF. So I'm bullish biased on CADCHF. And using Fibonacci, I can check out my possible profit potential on this one. And if the breakout happens, above the neckline, which is this point here, and if you're using pending order, that can actually be your entry, or you wait for a clear break, above this level, maybe at exactly Fibonacci 38.2. That can also be, your entry. So if you're using Fibonacci 38.2 as your entry, then your take profit level can be for Fibonacci 50 will be 12 pips, and to Fibonacci 61.8, that will be 25 pips. All right. Okay, so next I'll look at the GBPCAD. Now this is GBPCAD on the monthly time frame, and price currently is around a resistance level on the monthly time frame. So we zoom down to 4 hour time frame. This is what we have. We have price very close to the monthly resistance, and we equally have a trend line here, and we have a second trend line right here. So this gives us a very valid rising wedge. So here we're actually looking out for a bearish breakout of price. So I'm bearish bias also on GBPCAD. Now price might just go back up the third time to test that monthly resistance, then break out from there. So whichever way, I'm bearish biased on GBPCAD. And I can use, now this is a swing trade, so I can use my Fibonacci also to look at the potential, profit levels. Now, some pips below Fibonacci, 23.6 can be used as an entry, some 10 pips. Now this is a swing trade, so we need something reasonable. Some 10 pips below Fibonacci, 23.6 will just be good enough for entry. And to Fibonacci 50 will be about 181 pips, and to Fibonacci 61.8 is about 271 pips thereabout. So I'm bearish biased on GBPCAD. And finally, I will be looking at EURUSD. Now, this is EURUSD on the daily time frame, and price is very, very close to a resistance zone. You know, the last week candle closed, last Friday closed just very near, it's very near to the tip of the resistance zone on the daily time frame. So on this one, I want to zoom down to 15 minutes time frame to look for a potential entry. Now, the 15 minutes time frame, I can draw a valid trend line. Now you can see that price currently is trying to test that trend line, and I can draw a second one at the back. So I have a valid rising wedge. So technically, I expect price to still go up to this zone and then drop. But also, that could mean we will end up with a head, a shoulder, and a second shoulder. That could turn out to be a head and shoulder pattern. But now, even if price doesn't go up that way, ultimately what I'm expecting is a bearish breakout of price on EURUSD. And profit potential on this using Fibonacci, just some pips below Fibonacci 23.6. That's if you want to use pending alpha manual, clearly below the current level. But then let's use Fibonacci 23.6, about 5 pips below it. Should be good for entry. Okay, that's still 4 pips. Okay. All right. So to Fibonacci 50 will give us about 19 pips, and to Fibonacci 61.8 will give about 30 pips. All right, so that's my analysis for this week. Just watch out closely. You know, watch this trade setup I've given. Watch them very closely for this week, and let's see how the market moves, you know, on these instruments. And if it goes in line with our analysis and the direction we've given, just trigger the trade and take it. And it's possible some of them may not get triggered. It's part of the game. So I want to wish you a very pleasant trading week. Just keep making the pips. And please like this video, drop a comment in the comment section, share this video to your friends who are traders who need direction. Now, just note that the basic idea behind this weekly outlook is to give you an idea of this trend on this specific instruments for the week. So even if you don't want to trade it the way I've given it, you can still use your own personal trading strategy. Just take note of the direction I've given and trade in line with that. You know what? Somebody used this to trade last week, and he was able to get a 500% return on his account within a week. Yes, you heard me right, within a week. So this can be to your advantage. Just use it as a tool, you know, to know trends and trade in line with it and raking the pips. All right, so I'll come back again later in the week to give you more updates on upcoming trades, and have a great time. Bye-bye.